good evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We thank you so much for joining us right here on Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on Grander Radio and Achickwitbeatz.com. We're so excited that you're here with us, and we got a great show lined up, and hey, we can't wait to do what we do, right?
That's right. Shouts to Grander today. Shouts to all the folks who've been chipping in, chiming in, been listening in. And so, we salute you as we go through this season.
Yes, indeed. And so, like I said, we got a great show lined up. We got some music industry happenings. We have a wonderful interview with Fabian James. And, we just can't wait to get to it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. But just so you know, everything that you hear, all the music, is produced by me. So you can always check out my beats at Achickwitbeatz.com. All right, here we go. Thank you so much for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz Breezy Gipson. We have the one, the only Fabian James in the building. How you doing?
How's it going? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, so, just a little bit of background to let the listeners know. I know you've got a personal history with music and you also do some management, but yeah, just kind of walk us back from the beginning. When did you start doing everything that you're into now?
Well, my story kind of goes similar to a lot of young people's story is, you have a talent for singing and things like that. Grew up in the church. Both of my parents knew how to sing, so that's something that I felt like I was destined to do. Sung in a few groups, did the solo thing for a few years, had a couple of falling in and falling outs with that, so, kind of decided to step away from that, and then, because of the fact that I felt like the management that was in charge of my career at the time wasn't doing things right, I decided to be the person to be the good manager. So I would be the manager to do everything that my managers didn't do for me when I was an artist. So that gave me the itch to be a manager. And managed DJ Reese for a few years, very big DJ, worldwide, court DJ. Shout out to the court DJs, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ Reese or whatever. Managed a few artists along the way, kind of fell off for it, got the itch to be back an artist. Didn't work out again, so I just went back into the management thing and sat down with my wife last year and told her that, I wanted to actually do something business-wise, actually put, trademark on what it was I was doing and actually do this because I actually had the mindset and it was in my heart to be a manager, to speak for people that couldn't really speak for themselves or whatnot and try to, just kind of work as a partnership other than just a dictatorship. So through that, DDS was created, so that's what I've been running with since then.
That's amazing. I just kind of want to rewind a little bit just to make sure that everybody heard.
I know that was a sermon right there. I'm sorry.
I mean, seriously. But you said that you were called to management so that way you could do for others what wasn't done for you. And, that's something that you don't really hear that often. But you knew that there was a void there and you stepped in to fill it. That's commendable.
Absolutely.
So when you work with artists, your management, DDS, you might want to give us a little bit more information about that. But when you work with artists, what are some of the main things that you look for before you decide to take them on?
Well, I like to have a conversation with them, just kind of pick their head out. I went to college, so I took up psychology. And management was actually my minor in college. I went to Columbia College here in Chicago. So business management was my minor. So I just like to kind of just sit down and just kind of hear exactly where they want to go with the music. And for me, this is how I was. And maybe this is the reason why I got taken advantage of so much. I used to just say everything, because I do this. I feel like something like this is something that you will be willing to do for free. That's really like a dream job or something that you love, something that you're passionate about, and something that's in your heart to do. I would actually do this right now, even if it wasn't hitting my account or my cash app or, whatever form or means of monetary, recognition you get for it. I would do this stuff for free just because I love to do it. But what I realized coming along the way is the fact that I actually love being able to communicate with people and meet people like you, very good producer, super producer, radio host, get a chance to meet people like you and stuff like that behind the scenes. So, but when I sit down and I talk to the artist that I'm about to get ready to take on, I have to hear that same kind of passion to some degree. It don't have to match the level of me necessarily because, I got here because of all the years that I put in. But at the same time, if you sound passionate about it, if you're not just about this, just about the money and the cars and the females and all that kind of stuff like that, if you come to me and be like, I'm actually doing this because it's actually in my heart. And if I hear your heart in the music that you bring across to me for me to listen to when we sit down and talk, then I'm going to definitely jump down with you and try to help you out. So I guess my qualifications for an artist to come to me, you got to be passionate about what you're doing. You got to be wanting to do this for more reasons other than what you see when you turn on Instagram or Facebook. It's got to be something deeper than that. It's got to be something more passionate than that. There's a void here in the music business, so as a manager, I'm trying to affect it in the way of, other than me just being an artist, I'm trying to affect it to bring good artists back to the table. Right. Instead of artists that's, well, you know the difference. You're a real musician, so you know the difference between the real and the fake. So, yeah, so that's what I look for. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome because, it seems like, so it's not that there's never been, artists who weren't genuine, but there was more of a balance that we used to see. And it seems like as time goes on, that's now when you're seeing less of a balance and you're not really seeing as many people putting their hearts into their music the way that it used to be. So that's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I know I personally appreciate it because, I miss the time of variety. I really wish, that we could get back to there again. And everything doesn't have to be conscious. Everything doesn't have to be all party based, but that variety is important. It's the time and the season for everything. So salute to you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, no problem. So, give us a little bit of background on DDS. What does it stand for? And, all the artists that you have and some of the things that you got coming up.
Well, DDS is short for the Drip Star. That's actually the full name of my management company. I just took the word drip and just, it's a small word. 4-letter word, but it's kind of with the times right now, it's with the trend, it's with the wave. So I also like to add an extra definition to drip. And drip to me and to the people that I manage and whatnot is confident. We're confident in what it is we're capable of doing. We know if we go out in front of people, whether it be 10 people or whether it be 10,000 people, we know we're going to put on a show for them. And all the artists that I'm dealing with right now, all the artists that's up under the umbrella, and I'm not just saying this just because they're, the artists in which I manage, but I'm saying this because, like I said, the qualifications that make me jump down with them to begin with. They're all showstoppers once they get on the stage. They all have good stage presence. They have good stage performance. They know how to carry themselves. They know how to talk. They could handle this interview with you just like I'm handling the interview with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's about confidence. It's about swag. I'm a little bit older, so swag might be a little bit played out on the word side, but I still implemented in what I talk about a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So but the drip started. And as of right now, it's 5 artists that I have up under my umbrella. The first artist is Devo Luciano, who's doing big things right here. He's out of Chicago by way of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's doing this thing out here, doing shows, opening up for different artists. He's actually on a Follow the Drip tour that's being backed by Dub Life Entertainment and DTR Records. So he's doing this thing with them. The second artist is Adon. Beautiful woman. Singer, songwriter, rapper, actress, model. She's an entrepreneur. She got the cupcake creator. She do cupcakes on the side. So she's, she's business etiquette at its finest, The third artist is 2 Weeks. And 2 Weeks, he's near and dear to me because of the fact he's a singer. That's also a rapper. And that's kind of what I was when I was doing my artist thing. I was a singer, but I kind of came across the people as a rapper when they first saw me. And then once you open your mouth, you're able to do the rap stuff too. But when you get them with the vocals, that's what's going to send everything up.
Right.
And he was an excellent singer-songwriter. His mind is for the music thing. He's almost borderline genius when it comes to the music, as far as him putting the music together, things like that. So he's a real good dude. 2 Weeks vibe. CEO OD, guy I kind of grew up with back in the neighborhood that I grew up from. He's a little bit younger than me, but we always knew of each other from back in the day. I knew about him when he was doing music. I knew the gentleman that he started doing music with. Rest in peace to Calvin, who he was doing music with back in the day. He, passed on to the afterlife. So CEO basically came to me and approached me about, us talking and working together. So we put it together with that. He has his own record label, One Entertainment. So he's doing this thing. He actually just had a virtual show this Saturday that was hosted by DJ Sluggo. Shout out to DJ Sluggo and all the block DJs. So they're doing their thing over there. And then the fifth one is a gentleman by the name of Lil V Bucks. He's a rapper from the south side of Chicago, and he's putting the project together right now that we're going to get ready to put out in front of people, hopefully at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, all of them bring something, you know, some of them kind of similar. For the most part, they bring a lot of different things to the table. But out of these 5 artists, the reason why I've jumped down with them is because we're all like-minded. We all sit down at the table, and all of us have the mindset that, you know, we're not going to, it's not going to just take one. It's just not going to take two. It's going to take all of us to make this happen. And in order for us to make a huge impact when we walk through the door, it has to be all of us. So we're going to big each other up. We're going to, you know, put each other out there. We're going to support each other's movements. And that's pretty much what it is. So it's kind of, DDS is kind of a family for the most part. And also, I like to add as well, I'm sorry about that, because we just added on to the roster over the weekend, Sean Don T from Renegade Radio Chicago. She just jumped down with us over the weekend. So shout out to Sean Don T and Renegade Radio Chicago. She's doing big things. She's an author, you know, radio host. She got her own radio show coming up on 2 years, December the 11th. So we're going to try to do something real big for her if we can. If Auntie Lori open the city back up and we, you know, can do something, at least have a drink or something like that, we're going to get down with that. But yeah, definitely.
Right. Well, that's a perfect segue, because I was going to ask, you know, how you guys have been able to maneuver around a global pandemic going on. But, you know, at least from what I see, you guys still got the momentum going. And so, yeah, tell us a little bit of what that's like for you.
Well, for the obvious reasons, you know, the shows have been a little bit more lighter than what they would be, you know, especially for, you know, rap artists or whatever. The R&B artists, it's easy to kind of find avenues for them, but then at times it's really not, because everything is so hip-hop driven nowadays. But through all of this that's been going on this year, we've been able to find places, you know, venues out in Indiana, outside of Chicago. Illinois is really... that's not to say, that's not to disrespect any other city or any other state, but Auntie Lori, I call the mayor here Auntie Lori, you know what I'm saying? She just put her fist down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't do anything. Y'all can't come outside and do anything. Whereas some cities, you know, they have restrictions, of course, as well, but they're still able to have, like, you know, a certain amount of people in the building at a time. So we've had to be a little bit creative, and through the creativity is the virtual show that CEO had over the weekend, something like that, where, you know, it can't be, if it's only like just 10 people or 15 people that's allowed in the building, everybody practicing social distancing, which is very important. I want to make that perfectly clear. Wear your mask, wash your hands, because this is real. Prayers up to Chicago artist from here, Jeremiah, who's, you know, going through something right now, dealing with COVID. So I'm praying for him and with him right now. But back to what it was, I was saying, given the fact of the situation like that, you basically, you know, you have to make the shows virtual. It can't be an audience in the crowd. So we have to kind of depend on people to kind of tune in. And, you know, the idea was kind of brought across. Well, I would feel like the idea was brought across from all the magnificent DJs around the world that was putting on these shows on IG Live and Facebook Live, you know, for people to listen to when the world was really shut down, really couldn't nobody move. So it really wasn't nothing for nobody to do. So, you know, they just turn on their phone or turn on the internet, you know, go to IG or go to Facebook and listen to these DJs, you know what I'm saying, do what they do, show their mastery. So I would think, though the concert kind of came, I'm not quite sure. I would have to ask CEO to see, but I would, you know, it's kind of easy to kind of put those two things together. And if that was the case, that was excellent, because that was a mastery idea, because it still makes people feel good about what's going on, even though things ain't necessarily the best that they could be.
Right.
You know, so.
Indeed. Yeah, I agree.
And then always drop music. I mean, so that's really, as an artist, that's really the only, in a situation like this, that's the best thing you can do. Make sure you always thinking of a plan ahead. You know, when everything works out, I got this plan in place. You know, plant the seeds for the plan, you know what I'm saying, start manifesting itself as you go. But always do music. Stay in them studios. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be no multiple people in the studio. It don't have to be no entourage with you going to the studio. It could just be you and the engineer. Or you by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just in there, just creatively, just got the creative juices flowing. So always drop music. Never stop dropping music. You know, just keep working on music, because you never know. You know, you may end up coming up with something and clear all this stuff up and everything open back up. Then, you know, if you ain't really prepared yourself for it, you don't know what your next move is going to be. And you're going to be behind the 8 ball if you do that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Playing catch up. Yeah.
Exactly. which, that won't necessarily work out for you because, the hardest worker going to get to the grind first.
And then once things do open up, a little bit more everywhere, everybody's going to be ready to get out. You're probably going to have more support at shows than you could have ever imagined. So, yeah, just like you were saying, it's important to be ready because people are hungry for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then through this, by you dropping music and doing virtual shows or, keeping content on social media and whatnot, you're also adding to your fan base. So you may add, 10 people, 15 people to your fan base that you didn't have before the pandemic started. And those will be the main people that'll follow you everywhere you go once the city open back up. They'll come to every concert, you know what I'm saying? They'll buy your shirts, buy your merchandise. So, so it's just basically, a way of, artists showing the fan base that, we haven't forgot about y'all. These are terrible times, but, let us throw a song out there that y'all may vibe to when y'all, working out or cleaning the house or, going to get essential items for them, to come back to the house with or whatever. So that's why I stand on it with my artists, and I don't necessarily have to stand on it with them hard, but because they're already doing it. Keep that music flowing. Let's keep music from flowing. Like Double Luciano, he sends me music every single day. All of them do, really. Like, Adon sent me, music that she done did way back in the day. Like, I have a whole catalog in my phone. CEO as well. 2 weeks sending me stuff all the time. So that's good. And I like listening to it because I don't really even listen to the music that's out right now. I only listen to my artist music. Especially when I'm trying to catch a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially with you guys having, the same drive for the music, because most of the stuff that you hear on the radio, that drive isn't there, that passion isn't there. So it might be cool to bob your head to, but that's not something that you can listen to while you're doing some of the things that you mentioned, like cleaning the house or, day-to-day things that actually stick with you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, you just dropped a whole bunch of powerful gems, but I wanted to know if you had any advice for any artists out there listening right now. You had mentioned about how you had been taken advantage of in the past, and I think many of us have stories like that. But is there any advice that you can offer an artist that might be kind of struggling with that right now and trying to figure out how to bounce back from that?
Well, the best advice I can give an artist is, never let anybody stifle your creativity. For whatever it is in this industry that you feel like you want to do, never let nobody tell you you're not capable of doing that, or you're not able to do that, or you don't have what it takes to do that. So, you know what I'm saying, never let anybody stifle your creativity and learn both sides of the business. Not just the artists that I manage, but I tell any artist that comes up to me and asks me a question like that. Learn both sides of the business is important because I've seen this with my own eyes. I'm sure you've seen it several times as well. We've seen good artists that has fell by the wayside because of the fact of they was quick to sign something because of the fact they wanted their circumstances to change, and I understand. I never had a silver spoon in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that, you see what it is on TV and you want to emulate what it is that you see on TV, and if somebody puts something in front of you with a whole bunch of dollar signs on it, you where the pen at. No. I tell a lot of artists, watch the movie Straight Outta Compton. And you already know where me and you had conversations before we even had this one, so you already know where I'm going with this. Ice Cube said something very profound in that. I'm not signing this because I don't know what you're giving me. You telling me how much money I get if I put my signature on here, but if I'm just signing this for the money that you owe me that I've been working for ever since I've been on this tour, or am I signing my soul away?
Right.
So learn both sides of the business. I understand it's hard. Believe me, I get it. It's hard for you to be, an artist. Then you have to turn around and you have to be your own creative director. You have to book your own shows and stuff like that. I know it's hard, but in order for you to get to the shine, you got to grind. And that's our motto here at DBS. As we proceed, you got to do what you got to do to get where you want to be at. Don't look for no handout. Just do what you do.
Yes, absolutely. Except I almost wish I could rewind that so everybody can hear that again, underline it, highlight it, whatever. But I know everybody's soaking up all the wisdom that you've shared. And before we get ready to close this out, you've already mentioned about how you guys are getting ready and, you know, you're still dropping stuff, still working. But if you could let people know where they need to follow you, who they need to follow, you know, Instagram handles, Twitter, all those good places.
Okay, as far as Instagram handles, let me start off with Devo Luciano. His Instagram handle is The Big Dripper. It's THEE Big Dripper on IG. And then Devo Luciano on his YouTube. Please go follow him and subscribe to his YouTube page. He just dropped a hot single yesterday at noon called Dope Man. It's doing real good on the numbers. Shout out to Dub Life. Shout out to my brother Luch, who's co-managing him with me. Everybody over there in the building for DTR. We appreciate all the love, sweat, blood, and tears y'all done put into this project with this young man. You know, that's my dude right there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he my little cousin. He actually my blood cousin. So,
Okay.
you know, so the talent runs in the family, of course. But at the same time, I'm very proud of him because, you know, we sit back and have stories all the time about how he used to watch me back when I was an artist. How I used to come over to, you know, Big Cuz house and, you know, I'd had a dressed up in the sunglasses, stuff like that, for to get ready to go do a show and stuff like that. So you tell me, we have stories like that all the time. But yeah, The Big Drip on IG, Devo Luciano on all his other social media handles as well as his YouTube, so check in on that. The next one is the Don, that's Don, ADON, the official Don music page on YouTube. And Ashley Donovan on all her other social media handles. You can check out that, and also go follow her business, the Cupcake Creator, on IG as well. You can go follow that. 2 Weeks Vibe. That's TWOWEEKSVIBE, and that's on all his YouTube, all his social media handles. Is 2 Weeks Vibe. Check him out. CEOOD. On Instagram as well as Facebook. You can follow him on all of that. As far as his YouTube, go subscribe to all of these artists. And then Lil V is the name of the youngster on YouTube as well as IG and all his other social media handles as well. So if y'all can go follow them, go subscribe to their YouTube page. I greatly appreciate it. I'm the little guy in all of this, so if you want to follow me, that's cool. But it's Fabian James DDS on Instagram, so you go follow me on there. I keep a lot of content on there for my artists, the next shows, the album dropping and stuff like that. So I try to keep people as updated as I possibly can on what the artists are doing and the movements that they're making. So yeah, if you follow me, you can get a link to them anytime. So
All right, that's what's up. So make sure that you check them out everywhere that he mentioned. Make sure that you follow, because you definitely want to stay up with what he's got going on, what they've got going on, because they're doing big things. And we thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, if there's any last thoughts that you want to leave with the audience, you can feel free to do that now.
Yeah, before I end this interview, I want to give a shout out to my backbone, my ride or die, my beautiful wife, Rebecca James, who has been through all of this. She's been extremely supportive. And, you know, when you're an artist or when you're in the music industry, you know, you put yourself in situations where, you know, it's not a regular 9 to 5, so you ain't always going to come home every day. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to be on the road a lot. If you're successful, you're going to be on the road a lot because you're going to be with your artist doing a lot of shows and things like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, in situations where, you know, you have a significant other that's not going to always come with you, that may create certain things. Mm-hmm. But with her, she's been very supportive. She's been supportive of my music anyway. Even when I was an artist, she was supportive of that. You know, and it never wavered. No matter what I came to her, no matter what crazy idea I brought to her or whatever, you know, we laugh and joke about it or whatever. But when it all came down to it, when I looked over my right shoulder, I never had to look too far without seeing her. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her. God bless her and everything she's doing, because her looking at me and the look that I see in her eyes every day when I tell her about things that's going on with me, the look she gives me that she believes in me makes me want to go an extra day, makes me want to go an extra hour, makes me want to make that phone call that I'm too tired to make, or, you know, I got something else to do, so let me take care of that, but at the same time, let me make sure I make this phone call. So I go hard to make sure I put myself in a situation where not only my artists are in a better position, but her as well. You know, you want to reward people that's been loyal to you, so definitely want to give a shout out to her right now.
Beautiful. All right. We thank you so much for coming on. And you know what? We definitely got to have you back again. Because, we appreciate your energy, your wisdom, and sharing everything with us. And, yeah, we can't wait to do it again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And y'all, I know y'all already rocking with Achickwitbeatz, but please do rock with her just a little bit more. She, just get with her. I mean, she's probably one of the hottest producers I've ever heard. And I've listened to a lot of music throughout my time. And then, I wish I would have stayed an artist a little bit more longer just to vibe with you on the track, because I know that would have been a beautiful thing. But, I'm definitely going to bring my artist to you. So we're definitely going to get some work done on that end.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Man, that was such a wonderful interview. It was just a great time. I loved his energy and all the knowledge that he was sharing. We've been having some strong music managers on the show lately, and I'm just loving that, aren't you?
Yeah, that comes from a different perspective, and a lot of times, what you hear behind the mic is just it's the stage performer or whatever, which is good, okay, and so, but, we're taking it to a higher level, so behind the scenes, and, those people behind the scenes are putting in a whole lot of work, direction, input, they're receiving different signals from different vibes and stuff like that. So I'm glad that they're in the mix, and I'm glad the people get to hear that.
Yes. And so that's what we're here for, to provide quality interviews, education on music and what's going on, and anything to help you with your artistic career. So make sure that you tune in every week, because this is, what we're here for. And so, speaking of music industry news, one of the big stories that popped off this week was Bandcamp Live. So Bandcamp has actually gotten into the streaming game. So that way you can perform concerts, like live stream, for your fans, and they can pay tickets to see it. So it's different from, doing Facebook Live or IG Live. They've come up with a way, like some of these other platforms have done, for you to be able to get paid while people watch it. So they can buy tickets to check you out, and it's just another way for you to directly interact with your fans and have them support you.
Yeah, and the money doesn't hurt either, does it?
Right. So yeah, because money is a big factor in support. Likes and shares go a long way, but it's still kind of hard to spend that in the stores. So kudos to Bandcamp for just coming at the industry. They're doing as much as they can for independent artists, especially during this pandemic. So just kudos to them. Salute. And just make sure that if you're not on Bandcamp, you definitely want to do that. The margins that you get from selling your music there is a lot better than iTunes, or somebody just goes and downloads it, because they only keep 15%. So yeah, if you're not on Bandcamp, make sure you do that.
That's deep.
All right, we're gonna get back to some more beats, and then we'll be back with more industry happenings after that. we're back again. Another big story that broke this week is Scooter Braun, the guy that's been going back and forth with Taylor Swift because she's not happy about him owning her masters. But, you know, that comes with the breaks when you sign your rights away. But he sold the master rights to her first 6 albums for what they believe to be more than $300 million.
You know, that whole thing, you know, here we are, we've come full circle. You know, we're in the 2020, and there's still folks out there that, you know, I don't want to go as far as saying with the bad vibes, but yeah, on the one end, you know, when you're young and sign certain documents, but then, you know, on the other end, on the back end of that, there's folks out there, even in the 2020, they're still all out for themselves. They, you know, they got the dollar signs, and, you know, they will take your stuff and they will profit off of it, even when they know that, hey, man, come on. But they're saying, oh, it's all about the money. But in the end, sometimes those things still boomerang back to them in a negative way. So we'll see how this pans out.
Yes. So she still has plans on recording at least the first 5 albums over again. So that way she'll be able to own those masters. But, you know, that's a lot of work to try to get around, you know, something that you had actually agreed to. And this is something that artists actually need to understand, is that when these labels are coming to you, they're giving you money in advance. They totally expect to recoup everything. So they're not just giving you money just to make you a star and they're not going to take anything from that. That's not how it works. It'd be the equivalent of a bank coming to you just saying, hey, I just want to give you money to get a house so that way you can be happy. No, you got to pay that back and they're going to want interest. So make sure that you're careful of whatever you sign, because once you sign it, there it is. So, you know, make sure you check out Breezy. He's got benefits to help artists like that. So if you need somebody to check out contracts before you sign them, make sure that you get with Breezy.
Well, you know, I always go back to the 3 young ladies in Decatur, Georgia, that got signed to that label by a singer that we all know. And, you know, even in 2020, that is panning out to be one of the worst deals of all time. And they just didn't, the young girls didn't know, and the parents didn't know either. And, you know, they worked tirelessly for years and years trying to get out of that, because all the money was going to the guy that signed them up. And, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. And, so you gotta, you know, even if you are young, or even if your parents aren't to the point where they can decipher through all that stuff, the legal jargon on these papers they're asking you to sign, you know, still reach out to someone that, and then check them out as well. Because there's a lot of sharks out there that can really turn your life into a nightmare over your hard work. The proceeds of your hard work goes to them instead of to you. Exactly.
And just as Fabian had pointed out earlier, that, you know, a lot of times they prey on people from disadvantaged situations. So, you know, once you see all that money in one spot, you do just want to jump on it. But, you know, not if it's going to cause you some financial ruin down the road. So, yeah, make sure you check it out. And speaking of labels, Westside Gunn revealed that he left Shady Records. So now he's a free agent. And, you know, he didn't go into details as to why. But indie's where it's at. I've always said that, and I firmly believe that. If you can do it indie, you got the fan base. Or even if you don't have a fan base yet, you know, just take that time to build it. So that way when the money starts flowing in, you don't have to worry about it flowing right back out of your hands. You get to hold on to it.
You know, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So, you know, hey, just look, you know, we want everybody to be happy. That's not always going to happen, but we still put our best foot forward, being positive and wanting some great things to happen in everyone's life.
Yep. All right, we're going to get back to some more beats by yours truly, and we'll see you in a few. All right, and we're back. Another hot news story was Believe, which is an independent distributor. They're looking at doing an initial public offering, which means that you'll be able to purchase stock in the near future. So it's been an interesting time frame to see all these different music companies going on the stock exchange now.
Well, you know, this earth is wide open. So many slots. There's a slot for everybody. And they're grabbing those slots.
Yep. And so, you know, it's interesting to watch. And if you're looking into different things to invest in, you know, make sure that you check out some of these music companies. You know, make sure that you check out their prospectuses, which, you know, gives you like a rundown on who's running the company and where they plan on going with it. So once they go public, they actually owe the public information with how they're spending money and where they expect to receive money from. So make sure that you dig into that if that's something that you're interested in. And another news story that's not so positive, but BMI, the performance rights organization, has been accused of casual racism by more than 15 current and former employees and musicians. So their statement is that they're aware of the things that have been going on and they've been working on correcting it. But that's one of those things that you just can't really look away from. I personally, I use BMI and I was not aware of some of the stuff that the employees were dealing with. And so I was really disappointed to hear that. So, you know, there is ASCAP, CSAC, and then if you're outside of the U.S., there's SOCAN and so many other performance rights organizations. But yeah, I hope that they get this rectified really fast.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Yep.
On and on to the break of dawn.
Yes, sir. All right, back to the music, and then we'll be back before we get ready to head out for the night. right, and that concludes this week's episode of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson on Grander Radio and Achickwitbeatz.com. We're so happy that you chose to spend this time with us, and then, we can't wait to do it again, right?
Oh man, can't wait, man. I just got my hopes up, and the holiday season's around the corner. So you guys got to be safe during this holiday season. We'll get deep on that another time.
Right.
But you know what? We can't, because when we come back again, the holidays will have already started. So we're going to say this right now. Be safe with your family. Be safe with who you gravitate around in person and stuff like that. So, hey, because Ma Rona ain't playing, so just be safe.
Right, wise words that we hope that you take to heart. And so, you know what? We'll be back same place, same time. Make sure that you tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.